everyone. Hi, hello. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend. We are butting right up against Christmas. When you hear this, Christmas will be the day after tomorrow. As we record this, it's the day after tomorrow. Yes, we are recording this on a Sunday. This episode will be released on a Monday, technically Sunday night. You know who's shitting himself right now?
Santa.
Why? Does he have GI issues?
He's just got a lot. He's stressful. It's stress.
It must be so stressful. I was going to say Tony Thaxton because he needs this episode.
Oh, well, he's kind of like our Santa.
Yeah,
he's like
in a way, he is. Anyway, this episode, it's me, obviously. But as you might have guessed, it's your husband and mine, Daniel Quantz. Put your hands together for Daniel Quantz.
Thank you. Oh.
The applause.
Don't applaud while you're driving, though.
If you were a Waymo, you could. Have we talked about Waymos? This is my new fascination.
What is Waymo?
Thank you for being less in touch with what's going on in the world than I am, which is not that much. Okay.
By the way, my eyes are allergies. So if I look disinterested in what you're saying, it's just because my eyes are itchy and shutting.
You look somewhere between stoned and like you've been crying.
Yeah, don't read into my expression is what I'm saying. I am fascinated with what you're saying. I am riveted. But my eyes are telling a different story.
They sure are. Listen, we have a problem.
No.
We have Houston. We have a problem.
What is it? I didn't want to derail what you were about to say, though.
I derailed what I was about to say.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to say something funny when I said Houston, we have a problem, but instead I said exactly the thing. So it's like, it wasn't funny at all.
But now it is.
My sister's law school friend, I don't know. This is one of those things where will it hold up? I don't know.
Who knows? Let's find out.
They went
together.
to Houston's.
Yes.
And he said, Houston, we have a problem.
That's
your
good
dip
stuff.
is what?
Oh, sorry. I thought that was it.
They ordered the avocado cheese dip.
Yeah.
Houston, we have a problem. Your dip is too good. Is that funny or is that only funny if you like the person and you're in law school?
That's it.
The latter.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember I was with this gal. We were smoking and I was
Smoking
high.
what? Okay.
And I was
Opium.
like just cracking up at the way that she organized her. She had a cabinet where she kept all of her like stuff for the bathroom, and it was like perfect. Everything was like perfectly organized, like labels out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I just thought it was so funny. And she's like, "Is this stoned funny or regular funny?" And I was like, "How could this be anything but actual funny?"
Oh my God.
And I was just like so adamant, like, this is real funny. This isn't just stone funny. And it was 100% stone funny.
I have a similar story, which I will tell later, of a stoned incident in college where a friend said something that, like, while we were stoned, we were like, this is like, you could probably tour on that joke. Like, we kept checking, like, it is a funny joke, right? I think it actually was a funny joke. I'm just going to make a note because we're getting way off topic.
We are way off topic.
Elisa stoned joke. I had another recurring dream about my college friends again. I feel like it's trying to tell me something. It's always the same.
It's just they're on
like,
your mind.
I can't. Yeah, but why are they on my mind all the time in my subconscious? I can't get in touch with one of them, but it's like.
I wonder if there's a Saturn return or something happening because my past is coming back to me these days.
Yeah.
And in a way that it usually doesn't.
You see, I suspect maybe I'm the one I can't get in touch with. I feel like if we're going to get like all, dream about it.
The youthful you.
Yeah.
You are losing touch. You're
anyway.
needing to get in touch. That's what it is. You're needing to get in touch with that person you were.
I think so. But also I really, really want to organize all of us from college to get together. I feel like it needs to happen.
I was hoping you were going to say the house, but go ahead. But no, people you were, that's fine.
But okay, anyway, the problem is this, Daniel.
What?
The glasses that I have brought in are not right for the task at hand. The task at hand being see my computer and seeing you. It's one or the other.
You don't need to see me.
So I'm going to be on and off. Yeah, but it's making me dizzy looking at you. I really should have put my contact in. God damn it. If you have good vision.
Am I that handsome?
Yes. It's that.
You get dizzy looking at me.
It's that. Let's take a quick break. Have we ever taken a break at 4 minutes in? I don't know. And we're back. I tried to get Daniel to get my glasses for me, but he wouldn't, which is fucking rude. Okay, Daniel, we're back. Join the show.
Okay.
Okay, so Christmas, these glasses also don't feel right. Hang on.
Oh, boy.
And again, we are back. Can I say, I have gone from someone who could not put in a contact lens. I would be like sweating and freaking out, and I had to get you to help me.
Mm-hmm.
To someone who could put it in so fast. I don't even have to hold my eyelid open like a lot. Would anyone be interested in a masterclass taught by me on inserting a contact lens?
No.
I have some tips.
Nope. No one cares.
Does everyone learn it as fast as me, or am I like a quick learner? Does everyone know how to do it? Because I would have loved to have some hints. Yours didn't help me.
I didn't help you?
You helped me, but your tips didn't help me. Take that.
So when you put them in, you're not utilizing any of the tips that I gave you?
Well, I am pulling down the lid with my middle finger. You gave me that. And that's about it.
All right. Well, that's great to hear. I'm not going to give you tips anymore then.
No, I just want don't give me.
Okay.
Don't give me.
You don't need me. That's fine.
Listen, sweetie.
It takes a load off my shoulders.
Listen. Last night I ate banana pudding from Walmart. And the top was like, it had like a whipped cream layer and then it had a pudding layer. And I feel that you gave me the whipped cream tips. I want the banana pudding layer of tips. Like the first level of tips you gave out, those are the ones you give everyone. I want the good tips. The ones you're holding back for when you find someone you really love. Because that's what you did. That's the math you did. You said, she needs help with her contact lens. I'm going to give her the tips I give everyone. I'm saving the good ones. Whereas I will create a master class wherein I give the good tips away.
Okay. What were we talking about before? This boring tangent.
Artichoke dip at Houston's.
Yeah.
Christmas really is what we were opening the show is what we were doing. And then I had to say a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So anyway, Christmas is upon us. Oh, Santa's shitting himself because of the stress. How are you doing Christmas-wise?
I still have a little bit to do. Yeah, it's been a bit stressful because, it's like I'm not just buying most of the gifts for everybody. I'm also buying all the stocking stuffers.
Well, I have bought some of both.
You bought some.
Okay.
Yeah, but
you feel that it's incumbent on you.
I feel it's mostly on my shoulders, but also like, yeah, like going shopping. I've been to a couple malls, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, there's just like, the malls are, I don't know. I can't tell if something's changed or if I've changed.
Oh,
but the malls,
let me have a dream about it.
The malls feel very like they're lacking in anything that I would buy for anybody. And I'm not sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not sure what it is. Like first of all, the malls have, I don't remember them having so many sneaker stores. Like,
okay.
Like sneakers apparently are a huge thing right now because every mall has a dozen fucking like high-end sneaker stores. I'm talking about like where they'll have
so like more than Foot Locker or the Athlete's Foot.
No, these are not like they'll have those. They might have a Foot Locker.
Boutique stores.
Right, like it's like, where they'll have a pair of Nikes under glass kind of thing.
Is it maybe that they're not catering to the white man anymore? And what you're sensing when you go out is that you're not privileged.
Well, you're not
being centered.
They're catering to youth.
Well, yeah.
Although I would say, I don't know, like I would say probably like overgrown children, probably, because it's like, who can afford an expensive pair of Jordans?
Right.
It's not a high school student.
It's Jensen Karp.
Yeah.
He collects sneakers, I think.
Right. It's like guys who can't grow up.
We're not saying that about Jensen.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
It just sounded like we were like negging Jensen, and we're not.
No, I'm not. I wasn't thinking about Jensen.
You're talking about sneaker wearers.
I'm just thinking like if you're hey, by the way, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
This is not judgment. But
you collected Smurfs
when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
I don't still collect Smurfs.
But let's say your mom or your stepdad sent you your Smurf collection.
I would not continue to collect them though.
Okay.
If you're a grown ass man and you're like really into sneakers, like to me, that's a bit childish. Like sneakers, I don't know. Sneakers to me,
I think you're gonna offend people, but
I feel the same way about shorts. Like now, if you're a dude with great legs. And you're stylish and you can pull it off, great. Definitely there are guys out there who wear shorts where they pull it off. But most guys, if you're wearing shorts, it's a little bit like, grow up.
Okay. I just want to say this. Jack Newcomb, publisher of my book, and before that, my column, I believe he collects sneakers, and I feel that he's very grown up. So there's exceptions.
I mean, I think it's okay to have childish interests. So I'm not judging. Like, I like video games. If it were up to me, I would play video games all the time. I don't because I don't have time, and it's just like that. So it's like I'm not like judging. I'm just saying it's the interest of it's a youthful interest.
Are you sure you're not judging? Because this is the second time recently you said I'm not judging, and I'm like, oh, you most definitely are judging, and then you're like, oh yeah, I guess I am.
No, I don't know what it means to judge. I'm just saying it's a youthful interest.
Yes, I will agree with that.
It's like if this came up recently, I was reading some thing on Reddit, and this woman was telling the story about like her baby daddy and like how he was just being awful. And when she was talking about the beginning of the relationship, she was talking about how he needed to go out and buy his weed from his dealer when there was something important going on. And it's like, ladies, if your boyfriend is going out and hooking and connecting with his dealer to get weed or whatever, or even just buy weed, like, and that's a priority. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's fine if you want to go buy weed, but it's like, but if that's like a priority over something going on with you, he's a child. That's childish. That's like not a guy who's going to grow up easily. So there's certain things. If he collects Pokemon cards, you know what I mean? Or Legos. Like, that's fine. But it's...
So anyway, the stores, you feel they have changed or you have changed. There's a lot of sneakers. What else?
I want to apologize to everybody if I've offended you. It's like, I really have no problem with any of that shit.
Yeah, you're allowed to have thoughts. Okay, go ahead. What else with the stores?
Not according to you, apparently.
I changed my mind.
All right. So what now?
Go on. What else about the stores?
There's just not a lot. There's like a lot of sneaker stores. There's a lot of it's like maybe they're trying to bring youth back or something to the malls.
Can I make a statement?
What?
I'm going to issue a statement. Here's what I think it is. I think we've
aged out of malls.
No, I think we're spoiled by the internet. I think that the internet has everything you need at all price categories. And you go to for me, when I go to the mall, which is not often, I'm like, oh, a spatula shaped like a gingerbread man that's $35. First of all, I don't really know anyone who would want this. And second of all, it's way more than I want to spend on this. But you go to the internet and I think it's just that stores do feel limited. Stores feel like they're in their last throes.
No, that's not what it is for me. But that's a valid reason not to. No, for me, it's variety. Like, I want to go to the mall because in my mind, at least it used to be like you go to the mall and there will be like a large variety of stores and options. So like if you're not sure what to get somebody, you can just sort of like mosey around the mall and, this store will have this kind of thing. And then you go over here and this store has that kind of thing. And this store has this kind of thing. But Now when you go to the mall, it's just endless stores with the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's either just like down the middle kind of clothing option, sneakers,
spatulas that shaped like gingerbread.
No,
man.
they don't even have that kind of shit.
All
like
right.
it's
Kiosks.
There might be like a hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, oh yeah. And then the third thing is like Japanese products, which actually like those places do have good, interesting options in there. But yeah, like the sort of other types of shops that might have something interesting are all like branded merch. So you go in there and it's like there's a place where they have the Nightmare Before Christmas section, and here's the section that has like maybe some Wicked stuff, and but it's still like,
I do find malls, or at least the malls around us, a bit depressing. And I'm wondering, is that a me thing, or have malls always been depressing? Because growing up, now I lived near a world famous mall, South Coast Plaza, and Fashion Island, which is an outdoor mall, so that's a little bit sunnier, literally and figuratively. But I always found malls to be an oasis of enchantment when I was a child. And I'm not just talking about Rainforest Cafe. But now they feel, maybe it's just that Burbank Mall feels depressing.
I mean, so I went to the Burbank Town Center, which is relatively smallish.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Westfield Fashion Center in Studio City.
It's not in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, maybe it's Sherman Oaks. And then I went to the Glendale Galleria. None of these are like the top, right? I didn't go to the Americana brand. But the problem with
Americana brand, that is specifically the location of these fucking spatulas I'm talking about at Williams-Sonoma or the other one, Taub.
And the only problem with Americana brand, there aren't a lot of stores.
Right.
But also, they're all very high end.
Yeah.
So, you're going to be spending
Swarovski.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, literally Swarovski.
Literally. Crystals.
Now, there is a good mall that's way out north, like near Valencia.
It's not worth it. You can get it on the internet, probably for cheaper. And you can click through.
Yeah, I know. Although, I got to say, like, even Amazon, like Amazon is kind of not great either. Because...
Excuse me? I like
it has everything, but it's like a little hard to browse.
Well, yeah. You got to where I go?
Like if you don't know,
Amazon.com/Alison. No, that's wrong. Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. Because 163
actually
recommended product picks, but also you can just click on last minute deals.
So that actually is almost the best option, is people's curated lists, like what you've done or what some other places have done. And you're like, oh, okay, I'll go to those because you're like, at least somebody is going through this pile of millions of things.
But listen, if at the point at which someone's hearing this, here's what I recommend you do. Go to the Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. And then once you're there, click into Amazon's main page. And then there's a little thing sort of on the toolbar, if people still use that term, that says same day delivery.
Yeah.
And then get your stuff if you're that last minute. Or I might recommend a wonderful gift subscription to Patreon, because Patreon is very excited about their gift subscriptions. To my Patreon is specifically what I'm talking about. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen.
Patreon.
Also, you could probably do a gift subscription to my Substack, which is very juicy.
Mm-hmm.
AlisonRosen.substack.com. I didn't mean to hijack this, but I also had to. Can we talk for a moment about... Did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
Can we talk for a moment about Elliot this morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Elliot's in the bathroom, and he's like, Mommy? And I said, yes. And he said, could I have that purple thing that removes makeup? No reason why. And I said, okay. He might have even said, I don't need to clean up makeup, but could I have that purple thing that cleans up makeup? Now, it's in the bathroom that you were in. So he was talking about, I have a makeup eraser, which I think is also in my store. It's one of those cloths that you just wet with water and then it removes makeup. And I said, because in my mind, he's spilled some makeup in the bathroom or something, and he's trying to clean it up. And I said, well, there's some water wipes in there too. That should work. And he said, oh, okay. And then that didn't really work. And every time I try to talk to him, he just opens the door a crack.
Right.
He won't let me see what's going on. So I give him the makeup eraser because the other thing didn't really work. And I say, are you trying to clean makeup off of skin or off the counter? Because the makeup eraser is not going to work on the counter. And he says, why? And I say, oh, I'm just, because the makeup eraser is not going to work on the counter. He's like, skin. Okay. So then, and I'm like, clearly he doesn't want us to comment on it. And then then he comes out and I'm like sort of far away, so I can't see anything. And then I hear you say, were you wearing mascara, Elliot?
No, it looked like he had been crying with mascara on.
Yeah.
He had these streaks down his face, but
And
they're very faint.
He comes over and my decision to not comment on it flew out the window. As soon as I saw it, looked like he had drawn black lines down his face, below each eye and under his mouth. His whole mouth was like in shadow. Almost like I don't know what he was doing. And then he'd cleaned it off, but it didn't come off all the way. And I was like, honey, you have gray lines on your face. He's like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah, he was acting like that's how he was with me. Like, what? No. What are you talking about?
What was he doing and why did he not want us to know?
I suspect.
Was he doing a video or something?
Yeah, I don't know if it was a video, but I suspect he probably saw something and was trying to replicate it with grandma's makeup because grandma's in town or something.
Oh, you know what? He's into that. It's like Behave. I don't know who it is. There's some YouTuber who does, it's called like Not a Kid Show. And she's like a horror YouTuber. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He loves the horror stuff.
And she has like different color contacts and she looks very.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, he acts like such a tough guy because he'll be like, oh, I like the horror stuff. But it's like, he's, we gotta Spirit Halloween. And it's like he needs to stay 15 feet away from the animatronics and stuff. Like,
even at Walmart over Halloween, he wanted me to walk past the animatronic first because he was very skittish about it. And then the Owen update. Owen has been using the word frick and frickin'.
It's so funny.
It's really funny. He was sitting on the couch.
Tell them what he said to you.
He was sitting on the couch and I was like, Owen, honey, this is a school morning. Like, it's time to eat breakfast. Go over to the table. And he wouldn't go. And then he goes, I'm tired of hearing all this frickin' nonsense.
About eating breakfast.
Remember, and he also said to me the other night, and I forget why, Mommy, you are in big trouble. I'm having big problems with you.
Yeah.
We don't talk like this, so I don't know who he's imitating.
He gets it from you too.
But then he asked, is frickin' a bad word? Is frick or frickin' a bad word?
Well, someone said something to him at school.
That he shouldn't say it.
Yeah, because he was like, you want to hear something weird that happened at school? And he's like, I said frickin' and so he doesn't understand.
Right. So I told him that it is a stand-in for a bad word. And then I told him the word and he thought the word was very funny. But I said, you don't want to say that one.
I was telling him it was bad to say it at school. And you were like, oh, it's fine. From the other room.
I don't think I said that. I think I said, is it really? I guess I did. I did. Is it really? Do we think frickin' is a bad word?
I just think it's like gray area. Don't use it. Just
okay.
I mean, someone said something to him at school about it.
But it might have been a friend.
But I just think...
Is oh fudge bad? At school?
No, I don't think it's... You're not going to get in trouble for it. But I do think you might get like, hey, watch your language kind of thing.
He also...
it might depend on the
He
teacher.
also was doing this. Say, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Don't say, oh my God. Say, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I say, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Don't say, oh my gosh. Say, oh my God. Over and over and over.
Oh,
this is a Jack thing, apparently. Okay. So can we talk about what happened? We went to... Elliot had a performance at school and then Owen had a performance at school. Both were adorable. And afterwards, our neighbor has a child in kindergarten, same grade as Owen. And then a kid who's a year older than Elliot. So she comes up and she's talking to Daniel, and then I come up and she says, did he tell you what happened this morning? What you told me was that you were wearing a sweater, and both she and her husband were like, hey, you look nice. Look at you all fancy. And you're like, how horrible do I normally look that the fact that I'm wearing a sweater is like I've dressed up. So I knew it wasn't that, though. That's all you had told me. You guys were standing in the street.
No, we were standing on the sidewalk.
Sorry, you're standing on the sidewalk. Yes, you're standing on the sidewalk talking. And then you walked out into the street?
No, I was making a move to walk out to this, to, go to the car.
And there was a car coming.
Mm-hmm.
So she
and I didn't see it.
Right. So she reached her hand out to pull you back. And you turned around and shook her hand. Right.
But the way she tells the story is like, I reached out to pull you back and you just like you said.
Uh-huh.
But,
that is what she told me.
Yeah. But the way it went down was more like she stuck her hand out and it was just out. She put her hand out, but she didn't like.
Was it between you and where the car would be?
No. I was between her and the car.
I'm sorry, my brain stopped.
Okay.
Was the car closer to you or to her?
So you and I are sitting across.
Okay. Imagine
there's a car behind you and I'm her.
All right. So right? I thought maybe the hand was like between you guys, but it wasn't. Okay.
No. And so she reached out her hand like this and it just held it there.
Maybe she was having doubts about saving you.
Yeah. It's not like she grabbed my shoulder or something. And so when and it was
What's
like
up,
this.
Leah? Why are you in conflict about saving my husband's life?
But it was like this.
Uh-huh.
And when you're saying goodbye to someone and they do that, like what other possible option would there be other than they want to shake your hand?
Right.
Yes, I thought it was weird, but like, okay, sure, I'll shake your hand. And then she's like, I was trying to save your life. And it's like, well, in a way, like the awkwardness of it did stop me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, she didn't grab my arm or something, which is what you would expect someone to do.
That's what I'm saying. I think that she started and then she had a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, look, proper reaction, really.
No. Your life is worth saving.
Not to me. Go ahead.
Sir.
I'm
Turn
kidding.
that frown upside down.
Oh, stop. All right, go ahead.
Do you need to be visited by 3 ghosts?
As long as those ghosts take me somewhere fun. If they take me to Disneyland.
What if they took you to the DMV or something? What if it was just bureaucracy ghosts?
Like the ghosts can't control the scene that they take you to and it's just some random moment from your life?
Yes, just the most mundane.
It's like your ghost would take you to you lying in bed checking TikTok.
I wouldn't mind that. I feel so like resigned to TikTok going away, by the way. I do not even care.
I feel like I'm just starting to like TikTok.
There.
I'm a little bummed, although I understand the ban. I wish that they could like divest or something.
Do you think there will be an 11th hour saving of it?
No.
You think it's going?
Well, yeah, because the Chinese owner BitDance, is that what's in it?
Something like that.
They had the opportunity to sell it and make a fucking boatload of money, but they turned it down because it's worth more to China as a piece of, whatever you call it, psyop. Whatever it is, it's worth more to them.
What is it?
Well, the ability to influence American minds.
Is that why they want to? Is that why it's being banned?
Yeah, because it's owned by China, which is an adversary. I mean, imagine if I don't know, the New York Times was owned by Russia.
It's not that hard to imagine.
But like I'm just trying to pick something obvious. CNN.
Yeah.
You would go like, no, I don't want CNN to be owned by an adversary.
Right.
To be able to control what is, and you don't think of like, well, TikTok, what do you mean? It's just people talking about skincare. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yeah, but there is a behind the scenes prioritizing of certain, I mean, just like the Gaza conversation that happened on there.
Right.
But also like, the election, like there's a lot of interference and things that are very subtle and hard for you. So it's like a very effective propaganda tool. So.
Doesn't a Chinese guy own the LA Times?
Well, he's Chinese. I don't know if he's from China. He's Chinese American. I'm not sure actually what his like story is, but he's like fucking it up. Like he's made it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's more. I think it's important to look at that more as billionaire than Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's important for everybody to start thinking in these terms right now. Not left, right, not Republican, Democrat, not even rich, poor, but like owner class versus worker class. Because that explains the dynamics of the world right now.
Okay, Bernie.
Or don't. I don't know. I don't give a shit.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm also concerned that when I said, doesn't a Chinese person, it's getting worse by the second, doesn't a Chinese guy own the LA Times, that sounds xenophobic. But it was on the heels of
you're talking about Chinese propaganda, China, the government. Okay. I don't think that's what's happening.
Speaking of owner class versus working class, can I share with you, I've now had 2 kerfuffles regarding tipping happen.
Yes.
The first, we went to I've told the story, but I must tell it too for background. We went to Tam O'Shanter. For the first time in my life, I decided to exclude the tax to tip on the pre-tax amount, which I have heard you can do. Mm-hmm. And I did it. And then I think that my discomfort over doing that, over being perceived as a cheapskate, made me mess up the math. And instead of, I wanted to give slightly above 20%, and I gave slightly above 15%. And I was like, oh my God.
You are mortified.
Yes. Because in my family, tipping was very much a reflection of the service you received.
Right.
Like, I forget if I told the story on air or just between you and me, but every now and again, my mom or my dad would be like, make sure you have all your belongings. Make sure you have everything, because once we leave, we can't come back. And then they would leave,
can't show our face in this establishment.
No tip. Now, I don't know what they thought would have happened. Someone would have taken like your ball cap and put it in the, vegetable shredder or something, Cuisinart. But
no, I think they're saying you don't want to have to come back and get it and then have to make awkward eye contact with someone who's mad at you.
I guess. But yeah, like they would occasionally leave no tip if they were like, this fucking sucked. Mm-hmm. This is pre-Yelp. Now there's another way to be petty.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So, oh God.
What your dad would have done to Yelp.
I know. If only he knew.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad for him.
He missed Yelp. That's like when my dad discovered sports comment sections, and he just became like a huge troll.
Yeah. Oh, I feel bad. And it wasn't even on purpose. It wasn't like someone said, let's spare the world this guy's Yelp ire. It was just that I think my mom doesn't know about it enough to have turned him on to it. Oh, I let him down because my dad had a heart attack and then he died 11 months later. Mm-hmm. And I often feel like I'm glad we got those 11 months with him, but I think, I wonder, would it have been more humane for him to have died when he had the heart attack? Because those last 11 months were like really rough for him.
Right.
He was never the same after he was in the hospital for 2 weeks. He was just never the same. But what if he could have had Yelp? He could have spent his last 11 months just yelping it up.
But he didn't go to enough places in those months.
But he could have, yeah, but my dad told me when he was like 87, he had found he couldn't have been 87, but he found his English teacher online, his college English professor, his favorite professor, and was like communicating with him. Like my dad.
How old was his fucking professor?
153. I think he was less than 80. Maybe he was in his 70s, but still. What I'm saying is my dad was interested in revisiting stuff from his younger days.
He didn't let shit go.
That as well. So he could have, for 11 months, he could have just been writing reviews of places from his past if they were still open. I'm sure he had all that shit filed away.
Yeah.
Oh, my poor dad.
Your dad really came up in the age of writing a letter to the owner of a place and then getting responses and comps, free rooms and shit.
Yes. So anyway. Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was like, when I realized that I had fucked up this guy's tip, I felt awful.
We've already told this story.
I know, but I have to retell it.
Okay.
I just have to. I'm processing. I felt awful. Is it possible there's anyone new listening?
You only hemorrhage listeners. There's no churn. There's no churn with your show.
Hey, if you're listening and this is your first episode, reach out. Because
Also,
I'm wondering if it's what's it called when it's like a complete fabrication? Just a psychotic manifestation. Not really. There's a word for that. There's a name. The unicorn. I'm wondering if I am taking pains to make sure the unicorn listener is taken care of, and like the unicorn doesn't even exist.
Although, folks, if you love this show, tell a friend.
Not only that,
like
but
that's the only way for us to grow.
This guy trying to sell some service to Greg and me, and had made a video explaining what he could do for us. And part of it is like, he's like, you guys aren't asking for reviews. You get a lot of reviews given that you don't ask for them, but you need to be asking for them. Like that helps the show immensely. So this is where I'm asking for reviews. Please help the show. Leave a review. Also, apparently more people are discovering podcasts on Spotify now than Apple Podcasts, which I didn't realize. I don't know if this is true. Mm-hmm. But anyway, whether you listen or not on Spotify, please go leave a review on Spotify because I'm in need of reviews over there.
And how are we going to sell the show for $100 million if we're not getting
like
reviews?
Alex? Yeah. Alex Keaton of Call Her Daddy.
Or Rogan.
Of Growing Pains.
Yeah.
What's Alex's last name really? Clark?
Who the fuck cares?
Anyway, my point is, so I saw the guy again and I was able to give him money. Okay, everyone's already heard that story. So anyway, picture it. I'm at my hair appointment.
Yeah.
Now, I always tip when I get my hair. I always tip this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But he owns the salon.
I know. That's always the thing. Like if they're not working for a salon, do you still tip? I still tip.
Well, I made the mistake many years ago of saying to a woman at a salon in New York who owned the salon, like, you don't tip if you when you own it, right? And she's like, oh, you can. It's like,
of course you can.
Of course you can. Right. I don't know who comes up with these rules that my mom has imparted to me. Almost sounds like a hair pun. But I have always heard that you don't have to tip if it's the person who owns the salon.
Maybe you don't have to. By the way, let's get with the program, and the program being Japan, and the program being not a tipping culture.
That plays into this because the guy's Japanese.
He's Japanese. Yeah. You're honoring his culture by not tipping him.
So anyway, I always tip, but he owns the salon. And it's just, times are tough in the Rosenquantz household right now. And I remember seeing some TikToks, propaganda, that were like, someone was like, if you can't afford to tip, you shouldn't be getting your hair done. And then someone's like, I'm a hairdresser and I completely disagree with this. I don't want people not coming to me because they're nervous and they can't afford to tip. Just don't tip. Like, we set our prices at a certain level, to cover blah, blah, blah. Like, just don't leave a tip. And then someone's like, but how do I not leave a tip? They're like, simple, just don't leave a tip. So I'm like, and it was like only $20 more, but the total was a little more than I was expecting. So I'm like, I'm just not going to leave a tip. He's Japanese.
This was the last time you went the other
This
day.
was yesterday.
Okay.
He's Japanese and like very Japanese, like goes to Japan all the time. And I think grew up in Japan.
And loves anime.
And sushi.
Sorry, I was being a little racist. I didn't mean to be racist.
I don't think he loves anime. I don't know.
Right.
You know what he loves? A deal. He told me.
So he's half Jewish?
I'm going to say something that normally Greg Fitzsimmons would say on Childish, and I would say I'm not going to touch it. I am beginning to feel like secretly Asians fit the Jewish stereotype more than Jews. Because Jews are trying not to be seen that way. I know I am, which is why all of us make me uncomfortable, as super cheap. Let me rephrase. I'm not saying Asians are super cheap, but I don't know if I
would think that about Asian
I'm just
people.
saying, I'm wondering if part of Asian culture is, let me put it in a more positive spin, knowing the value of $1 and trying to never spend too much.
What culture isn't that way? Like, I think a lot of with
people like me who are who didn't think they were Jewish. Although I'm telling a story of being cheap.
No, but I mean, I think a lot of stereotypes applied to, like, a stereotype of a certain people actually just applies to everybody, but a certain group gets pegged. Like it's like, black people love fried chicken and watermelon. It's like, yeah, who the fuck doesn't?
Yeah,
that's like that's delicious fried chicken and water. What are you talking about? Like that gets pegged as like a racist thing, and it is racist to say that. But it's like, but it's not like.
I think there's certain cultures who are more loose with their money.
Who?
Mexican Americans. I have no idea.
No,
anyway,
like everybody, most people, or like if you were like, oh, they love a deal. So do, I don't know, everyone in the Middle East. That's the stereotype of them. Like, I don't know. It's like,
yeah, that's like a more haggling based culture. Anyway, okay. So I'm like, I'm just not going to leave a tip. I'm just gonna, just like that TikTok said, just sign the credit card. I didn't write a line through the tip line on the credit card bill. I just put the total, which was what the total was, and then signed it, and then walked out. And in my mind, he looked at it and went, huh. Now, he didn't do that, but in my mind,
I would not be able to sleep.
Hang on, because there's a coda.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't be able to, if I've tipped someone in the past, I wouldn't be able to suddenly not tip them because even if that person is okay with not receiving a tip, the fact that I have is going to raise questions.
So I get in the car.
Very, very risky move.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't stick the landing. I get in the car and I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, my relationship with this guy is more important than saving the amount of the tip, which, by the way, is hefty because it's hair straightening.
Well, but hold on. What are you tipping?
Well, I'm actually not. I'm not tipping 20%. I'm tipping.
Yeah, because I don't think you're supposed to necessarily tip 20%.
I think you are.
I think it's okay. Actually, this is where I'm.
It's what it actually comes out to is a little over 10%.
Like, I think even when you go out to eat, and this is controversial, servers will get mad at me saying this, but I think if a bill is over $100, that, especially if a lot of it is drinks, I think it's okay to not tip 20%.
I don't know about that.
In the same way, I think if you go out for breakfast, you should tip way more than 20%.
Because they have to be up in the morning?
No, because breakfast is cheap.
Yeah.
And the amount of effort is the same. You're going to be tipping like $2.50.
I love when a bill is like $6 and you can just make it 10 and be like, I've just made your day.
As a former server, I will tell you, like, because I would work banquets and stuff.
I love a big tip on a small amount.
And there would be some times when they would come in and they would like have a huge bill. And when they would tip 20% on that, I always felt like I was getting away with something. It didn't feel like, yeah, that was deserved. It was always like, fucking A, man. I'm sorry. It's like they know that the effort that they put in on that fucking dinner was the same as if it was a breakfast.
Do you remember when we went to Paris and they were doing us a favor by bringing something to the room, and so we tipped them as if we were in Las Vegas? Yeah. And then they came back and we tried to tip them again, and they were like, oh, it's not necessary. I just feel like, and I was like, they must think we are like the dumbest Americans. But on the one hand,
that's a cultural.
On the one hand, who hates money? On the other hand, they must think we're like these dumb, like uncultured Americans.
I don't mind being thought of that way.
But so anyway, all this is swirling through my head, but I'm in the car and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I like this, like my relationship with this guy is more important than the tip. I don't want him to think that I was unhappy with something. And then the words of Molly McAleer went through my head because she was saying that this is when she was on my podcast a long time ago, back when money was more plentiful. She was like, because she was saying she tips a lot on the people that like do her hair and all that. She's like, you got to take care of the people who take care of you.
She's right.
So I go back in. I'm like, I can't do this. I go back in and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to leave a tip. Can I write it in? And he's like, oh, sure. And so he gives it to me. He's like, you don't have to worry about it. You didn't have to do that. But then I get in the car.
Damn it, I didn't have to do that.
No, so then I get in the car and I'm like, oh my God, I just gave a larger tip than I normally do.
See?
Because again, this is what I've learned. I can't do math when I'm stressed.
Yeah.
If there's one take home, don't do math under duress. Because I was so uncomfortable with the whole thing. And given that the total was a little more than it normally is, instead of leaving my normal tip, I left a bigger tip, which maybe whatever. I don't care. But I was just like, that whole thing. I feel like this is a pattern in my life of trying to do something and then being like, I don't have the balls to do this.
No. But you're talking about like not having the balls to sort of be rude potentially to somebody. Like it's, I don't know.
Maybe I shouldn't have even tried it. I don't know. In Japan, you wouldn't tip, but I always have in the past.
But that's the culture. No one's expecting a tip. The difference here is that because you've given a tip, he might actually be fine with you not receiving a tip, but the fact that you've decided not to this time, this is what I would be thinking.
Sends a message.
So he might be like, well, why this time?
I know. And the option of saying like, I just want to let you know I can't give you a tip right now because money is really tight. That is atrocious as well. Or whatever, trying to explain it away.
Well, I think if I intended not to,
okay.
if I, this is how I would have handled it. If I were setting forth not to give a tip, I would have the conversation while they're doing my hair revolve around money being tight. Like I would be like, oh man, yeah, it's tough this Christmas because the kids want all this stuff, but we just don't have any money. And, and then that way, when I don't give the tip, they will know, oh, it's because I don't have money as opposed to there's anything wrong. And I would be like, thank you so much. This looks amazing. You're just a magician, da, da, da. And then,
I mean, he told me that via this, so Slick Deals is the website that he uses to find his deals. He didn't pay for toothpaste for a whole year.
Yeah.
That's how much he's into deals.
Yeah. And so there's a way to handle it, but like it's the message sent that would bother me. I don't know.
I know. The reason I can't say to him, the reason I'm uncomfortable explaining like this doesn't mean anything, I just can't afford tipping, is because it reminds me of like my mom would frequently give us like, it would be like a coupon for a gift of your choice within reason.
What do you mean? She
would always write within reason. It was like,
what, for like Christmas she would give you a piece of paper?
Sometimes as part of it. Yeah. Like you can, if there was something I wanted, like you can choose this within reason. And like frequently, like before every holiday, pretty much we'd be like sat down and it would be explained.
So she would just be like, you know what? I don't even want to bother trying to think of what they might want. I'm just going to give them a piece of paper for them to choose something.
It would be more like, let's say I really wanted a certain XYZ and she didn't know which one.
Sure.
It wasn't the whole gift. It was part of it.
Honestly.
But hang on.
I wanted to give that to you.
It's fine.
Yeah, because I don't know how to buy you. You know what the part of the problem buying for you is?
Well, I have not moved on to that topic yet. Hang on. She would also frequently, like, I feel like before every holiday, my sister and I would get a speech. Not every holiday, every Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Birthdays, too. A speech about how don't expect that much this year because we really can't afford that much. It was just like this.
Always.
Did you get these speeches
too?
too?
We got that but it got to the point where it's like you don't have to give that speech.
Yeah,
because this is my expectations are in the floor.
Right, but it always emotionally was like a very yucky thing to hear. I don't know. Although if I were to say that to my hair guy, I'm not his mom. He's not expecting. It's not the same.
Well,
I hate hearing that kind of stuff so much, and I take it personally. I guess that I think I would, like, I worry about how he would receive it. I'm doing way too much thinking. I should talk to my therapist about this. Also, I just want to say, though, for anyone, if you're like a Patreon subscriber and you need to stop subscribing and it's a financial based thing, I actually love when people reach out and let me know that, because then at least I know that the person wasn't like, fuck her, goodbye. Right. So I don't want anyone hearing this to think that I don't like to hear that when it has to do with my podcast, because I do. Yes, go ahead.
Well, you don't want to hear someone say, Now this year, don't get your expectations up because, well, for me, it's a little bit. It's like, well, it implies that I have these outsized expectations in the first place,
Right.
And this person is worried about letting me down. And
Well,
I guess that's natural and
it's so
normal,
yucky.
except that it's like, let's all just be happy with gifts, what the person can give, and not like have there be a way to fail.
Right.
Um,
What my therapist says is a gift. I've lost half of it. It's given. It's fuck. No strings attached is part. It's given something with no strings attached, and I don't know what the first part
That's
is.
a great saying.
Because you want to
I
give
can
it.
see it printed next to a picture of Martin Luther King or James Baldwin.
I know. Her thing is always like, it's what you choose to give, and it's no strings attached. I feel like she would, but I feel like a tip is supposed to be the same way.
Let's get off tips for a second. Let's talk about
right.
Christmas.
All right.
You talk about me being difficult to shop for.
I do.
You have in the past.
Okay.
And I understand. It's always like, for the person, it's always like, I'm easy to shop for. I know everything that I would want. This is why you're hard to shop for.
Here it comes.
There's all sorts of stuff where I'm like, oh, that looks neat. That looks neat. But I don't know, like, for example, I don't know the specific face regimen. You know,
I wouldn't even wade into that if I were you.
In particular chemicals and things and sealants and waxes
Spackle.
and
There's spackle. There's primer.
Sandpaper.
Right.
But there's like
disinfectants.
I'll tell you this because I'm not getting you any of this, but there's like all of these really interesting, cool, like Korean products, like Korean that look really like, oh, that looks. I would like that, or I would.
Are you looking at Hanicure, which is that mask that like shrinks on your face?
No, but that is an example. There's like a whole. I feel like the word got out that in Korea, like
that Americans are
products are better because they don't have the same approval, and so like. There's all these things, and they do look really cool. And there's other things.
Wait
too.
a minute. I just want to interrogate that sentence. You feel like word got out in Korea?
No, in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Yeah,
because of propagandist TikTok.
Right, like within the last year, everyone's like, "Oh, Korean products.
Yeah.
That's the thing." And so now it's like everywhere. But legit, they look really good. They do have that sunscreen we use that's like amazing. It's like the only fucking sunscreen I can put on my face that doesn't make my eyes burn.
Yeah, it's good.
And yes, I do put sunscreen on my eyeballs.
No, you're
supposed to.
are supposed to, not on your eyeballs, but you are supposed to put on your upper lids.
Yeah, but I can't with a Supergoop or any of those others because even if I just put it on my forehead,
it starts to drip down.
Like, I don't know, like the fumes or something get in my eyes. At a certain point, I will be like dying. I'll need one of those eye wash places where you can wash your eyes out.
You literally bought an eye wash.
Kit, I did. I bought 2 eye wash kits. It was so bad. So, and then jewelry, and then clothes. So these are major categories that are off the table.
Wait, I want to know what sealants you wanted. What Korean sealants you wanted?
There was this hydration serum that looked really good, and then there were some others. There was one other one. What was it? It was like I forget what it had in it, but
Can we tell the story of the lip oil?
The what?
The lip gloss. It's technically a lip oil that I asked for last year.
Oh, yes.
You tell it.
You gave me a list of things to buy, and so I just bought those things, and they delivered, and I do not know what I did with it. Because I have to hide everything.
Not really.
Well,
oh no, she saw the thing that she said she wanted.
Well, no, for you, I don't know that I hid it the way I hide the kids' stuff, but I did put it in a place where it would be just like out in the open, and I do not know where the fuck it went. It's probably in the closet behind something, you know what I mean? Like where it would be a huge effort to find it. I don't know. I have looked everywhere I can think to look, and it's probably one of the benefits of being old, which is you start to like, you can hide things from yourself.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like everything is an Easter egg hunt. Oh, where did I put my glasses? Where's this?
It's hard for me to ask for it again because it just feels so unnecessary.
Oh, honey, you should have.
That's okay.
Well, because presumably it's something you'd use. So it's like, if you had another one that popped up in June, it'd just be like, oh, great.
It was 2 tubes of it, I think.
Right. Like eventually you'd use it all. It's not, there's no point not getting it if you want it. I
haven't run out of the last one, but yeah.
Anyway, I felt terrible about that because I was so like pleased with myself that I got all the things on your list. And then it was just like, where the fuck? Yeah, that sucked. But I bought you like, there was a period there where I was like, I'm going to buy her jewelry. And I went to this, like, there's this really good jewelry store in Beverly Hills. It's like affordable jewelry. I went and I got it, and boy, did I hear it. Because, folks, it was the wrong color of gold. And I should have known the color that is her preference. And I was like, she has a preference. I knew you had a preference.
That gets us pretty far.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's this one.
I know
I was
she
wrong.
has a food allergy. I think it's this one.
Excuse me. If it was that, I would understand.
Slightly different. Okay, allow me to explain.
So now all you get are Pez dispensers and Pez.
That's fun.
No.
There's
one
got
flavor
you some
I
things. Hate. Good luck.
I got you some things you might like.
I don't want anything. Don't want anything.
Boy, that you're fun. You're making it even more fun.
You know what I don't? You know what I especially don't want?
I don't want anything. Oh, well, shit. Well, I've got a present for you. Sorry.
You know what I especially don't want? Although I love the idea. I don't. Maybe I shouldn't have even said it in case you've already gotten me.
What?
Some fancy socks.
That's something you don't want.
I don't need any more fancy socks.
I did not get you fancy socks.
I feel like every year there's some gigantic like fuzzy socks or something.
From me?
From the world gives me fuzzy socks.
You never wear them.
I know.
So that's why I stopped giving them to you. But they're good stocking stuffers because they fill up space.
I know. Well,
I'm just going to...
Is it about volume?
For you, my mother has made us Christmas stockings. They are the most delightful...
They're like
incredible,
body-sized.
Incredible Christmas stockings, and they are massive. And so for you, I'll just tell you right now what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill it with packing peanuts, and then at the very top, I'll put one gift. Okay. So it'll look
just
full.
Just fill it with dirty laundry. Can I tell you why?
I'll fill it with my underwear, and then one gift and an orange at the top.
Because those big fuzzy frilly socks are always, they're like 100% polyester or 100% nylon, and they make your feet sweat. That's why I don't like those.
Well, I think the thought was like, oh, she's always cold. Maybe she'll want warm socks to keep her feet
I'm just
warm.
saying natural fiber socks.
I don't care. If I get you, here's the thing. If I get you something that you don't like, it's like, oh, bummer. Unless it's something where I really feel like this is a big gift and I'm really hoping she likes it, which has happened. But usually with things like socks, it's just like, if you don't like it, I don't care. I mean, I don't. I know, but it doesn't make me feel bad.
I'm willing to destroy relationships with people I care about over tips. So I'm saying let's not spend money. Who cares? Anyway, okay. Listen. Something I was going to say.
Great.
But I've lost it. Fuck. What was it? It was about Christmas. It was about, should we tell the story of the gold and the silver?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You just referenced it. You referred to it. The story of when you messed up my necklace.
I just told the story.
That wasn't the whole story.
What's left?
The details.
Okay.
I, for years, have preferred silver. I do not wear gold.
You're talking about the switcheroo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, as it turns out, I have gotten my colors done. I am in August. I should be wearing gold.
Well, so like I got you a necklace that was silver.
Right. But
silver gold.
It had an E. It was an E. It was for Elliot.
And then when Owen was born, I got you an O, but it was yellow gold.
But not only was
and
it
was the worst crime. It was I mean, let's be honest. It was akin to. It was basically a Holocaust. It was a genocide.
So these letters come in different sizes. Let's say small, medium, large, extra large. I don't know what they actually are. And you got me the E, a small white gold E. And then you got me a medium gold O.
That didn't match.
To go on the same necklace. Doesn't that seem a little like,
Yeah, listen, I get it.
Now,
the Human Rights Commission sent me a notice about it.
I suppose the gracious thing would be for me to have said, "Oh, thank you, honey. I love it." Now, I don't know why I couldn't just do that.
Because it was a horrible atrocity. It was something truly terrible that someone did to you. It was as though I pushed you down a flight of stairs.
If Owen or Elliot, who's the guy who did that? The staircase?
I don't know. Go ahead.
If Owen or Elliot had done this, I just would have been like, "Oh, thank you, honey. That's so great," which is what I should have done with you. But instead, it was just like, how did you not remember?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Your wife?
Maybe I don't love you.
Well, how did you not remember? Like, this is the what?
Have you considered the fact that I might not love you?
No, but I think you sometimes aren't observant and you act in a hasty manner.
Yeah. Why do I do that? Let's follow this through.
Okay. I don't know. Why do you do that?
Well, what are some possible answers to that question?
You're distracted.
But also,
whatever it is, it's annoying to me.
I don't blank you.
I know you love me.
I don't blank about you.
Care about me?
Yes.
Do I think you don't care about me? Well, I certainly, by light of day, I know you care about me. Like, obviously. But it doesn't feel like love.
It doesn't feel like it.
It feels
because
if someone loved me, they would pay attention.
It doesn't feel like it because I don't
know what color
blank about you.
Think about me.
And
care about me. I don't know where you're going with this. We already said that.
Right.
But
that's what it comes down to.
But what I'm saying is,
which is why it's okay to be enraged about it.
I can't even tell what's joking and what's for the show and what's real right now. Because we were getting to a real place, but then you pulled me off of it.
All right, go ahead.
What I was trying to say is, the feeling is, if you loved me and if you cared about me, you wouldn't have made this mistake. And so I must be an afterthought. On a list of things you're just crossing off. Now, by light of day and in my adult mind, I know that that's ridiculous. You do you drove all the way to this store in Beverly Hills, and you were trying to get me something nice. But it also it taps into so much childhood stuff of feeling like special occasions were ruined by careless parents whose heart was in the right place, but XYZ happened and now this thing is ruined and I can't have it again. And I have so many feelings about it. So that all gets triggered. But I understand. That's why I say I don't want anything, because it's just easier to not be vulnerable like that when it's someone I love trying to get me something. I don't have this problem at all with the kids because I don't have expectations. Or if someone else gives me, a friend even gives me a gift, it's for some reason unfortunately it's you and my parents. Anyway, I feel we've done good work here. How much do I owe you?
Did we?
Do you feel worse because you kind of have a heavy look on your face? I
think there's a part of this that you fail to understand, which is that your expectations with this are based on an assumption that I know what it is about the jewelry that makes it a good gift. I don't wear jewelry. I don't think about jewelry. I almost never am thinking about the jewelry anybody's wearing when they're right in front of me. I do not know about it. I do not care about jewelry. I don't know about the metals. The only reason I know about the different kinds of gold is because when we went shopping for rings, I learned about it. I don't give a shit. This is something you like, and I'm tasked with going out and getting something that will appeal to you when I don't know what the rules are or what the thing is that makes it good or bad. So you're looking at it. So I go out and I go, hey, you know what? She'll like a thing with this is going to be thoughtful because it's going to be a way for her to wear her children, and it's honoring our children, but it's something pretty, and I'm picking it out and it's pretty, and instead it's a total failure because it's not the right size and it's not the right color, and don't I care about you, and maybe I don't like think about you, and all these things that you just said, and it's like, no, it's the opposite. I just don't know about jewelry, and maybe it's just that.
Yeah, I did not consider that.
Right.
That is absolutely fair.
Right. And so, like, this is a good lesson in relationships, by the way. It's like when...
I think I just broke my hand. Go ahead.
When the answer to the question of why did a person do this, in your mind, if the answer to that question is they must not care about me or they must not love me, then it's actually good to stop yourself and think, maybe I'm misunderstanding what's going on here. Unless the person really does not love you. But when that's your answer, there's information that you're missing if the person loves you. And that's the work of the relationship, is to give that person maybe the benefit of the doubt and find out what really maybe is going on here. And maybe my reaction is based more on the stuff you were saying about your parents and growing up than it is about my partner who's really putting in some effort to try to make me happy and just maybe doesn't understand that I don't wear socks like this.
Yes, that's all fair. It's all fair.
Because
It's tough when I am in that triggered state. I think when anyone's in that triggered state, when all your past shit is coming up and you're in the throes of it, because it
happens to me too. It happens to all of us. I'm not trying to put you on the hot seat. It's just that this is a good example of that happening.
Because then it's like, it's my birthday and I'm trying to take care of you by not showing you my feelings, which feels atrocious as well. I have a question though.
Yeah.
So am I hearing you correctly that a necklace with a small silver E and a large gold O seems totally fine to you?
I mean, I don't know. I guess now hearing you say that, I guess it doesn't.
But what if you were given the choice of a matching E and a matching O, or a mismatched E and O, both mismatched in color and size?
But if it's like a large enough contrast between the two, I don't think that would.
It would look. Do you think
bad.
It would look deliberate?
Yeah.
But you didn't. When you went and bought the O, you weren't. Were you thinking that there was about the E at all?
I thought I remembered it correctly.
Yeah.
So it wasn't deliberate, no. But I thought I remembered it correctly. I should have gone through your stuff and sought it out before. I think maybe the buying. This is a long time ago. I think maybe when I went, there was some reason why I was near there, and I was like, I should, there was a convenience because we didn't live near this place, and so I think maybe that was my mistake, was not going and checking. But I was pretty sure I remembered it correctly, and I just remembered it wrong.
It's sort of like when Ray went to buy more gray paint for our house. And instead of taking a sample, he just did it off memory and bought the wrong color and used it.
But I also if I had known that it would have been a real problem if it didn't match, I would have checked. I didn't know that was something that would have been. It hadn't occurred to me. Thinking about it, you go, oh yeah, I guess that would be a problem.
Well, I fully admit that I was unfair. and handled it not well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have sore feelings about it. I'm
not judging.
No, I'm just pointing out like how in a relationship you can get real upset about something because you're making certain assumptions, and it's like important to check yourself and but it's possible the person is being thoughtless. I'm not saying that. It's just like often, it's not fair to the person.
Yeah, I'm agreeing.
But I don't even need you to mea culpa on this one. I'm just saying, like, it has made me very, very
wary of
unwilling to go buy you anything where I don't know the rules. So that there are several categories where major categories like clothes, jewelry, and products, where I am just like, I'm not even willing to touch these because I do not know how, what, or where. Or
that's fine with me.
Yeah.
What's not happening is me going, why don't you ever get me XYZ? Like, I'm happy. You
have in the past.
I have?
Yeah.
What are you talking
You're
about?
like, I really like jewelry, and you never get me jewelry. You've said
didn't say that.
Yes, you have.
I swear to God, I have not said that.
You have.
I don't think so. Are you sure you're not confusing me with the Bucks and Max?
No.
I don't think so.
We've talked about things that like make you happy, that you like to receive, and one of those things was jewelry.
I think you asked what, and I think I was trying to give you a category of like something that I do like this.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever said, why don't you ever get me jewelry?
Maybe not that, but like, this is a thing that you could be getting me that would make me happy. And it's like, well, unless there's like a class at the Learning Annex about fucking jewelry.
Can I just tell you what's happening?
No.
This to me is the conversation. I feel like it's going to slip out of my head. I was on it. Okay. What do you want? Me. I don't want anything. And then you are like, every time I get you something, it goes awry. What do you want? I really don't want anything. Every time I get you something, it creates a problem. Like, see, I'm telling you.
No.
I'm telling you.
That's not what I'm saying.
Anything.
I'm saying every time I get you something within certain categories, it goes awry. So I just shop outside of those categories. It's fine.
And then you lose it.
I know. I feel terrible about that. But like, no, you're going to get, I love giving you gifts.
But I don't like getting them.
Would you rather not have anything to open on Christmas? I think that sends a bad message to our boys that we're not buying each other gifts. I still want gifts, so you still have to buy them for me.
Know.
Tough shit.
I know.
But like,
it's fine. I told you some things to get, and look, I'm anxious about money. Clearly, I'm anxious about money. You just rolled your eyes. I'm anxious about money. We happen to be married. We share finances. So therefore, when you buy me a gift, I bought me a gift. So I don't love that, because if I'm going to be spending money, I'd rather have it. Well, so whatever. So I gave you a list of some things that I know I want or need, and those things are fine. I don't want or need for anything. I also don't feel like the boys are clocking who gave what to whom, but I'm fine with us giving each other stuff.
They would see if every year I didn't buy you gifts, and over time they'd be like, okay, daddies don't buy mommies gifts.
Well,
and then they would become bad partners because we're not modeling relationships well.
Okay, that's fair.
So I think we should be giving each other gifts. I also like giving gifts, so it's enjoyable to me to get you gift.
Even despite everything we've talked about, it's enjoyable?
I just don't get you gifts within certain categories. That's all I'm saying.
Fine. I would like a car with a bow on it.
Oh my God.
And a puppy. So
we do not need this fucking.
I'm joking.
Ugh, God, this puppy is destroying everything. He has eaten my noise canceling Bose headphones. He's eaten my noise canceling Beats earbuds. He has eaten expensive pens. He is a terror.
It's funny because when we first got him, I was like, I don't know why people give puppies such a bad rap. He is an angel. He's delightful. He just brings joy. But now
gets
he's
up on my
still all of
desk.
that. He's all of that, but he gets into every. Look, Laura London, dog trainer, would say you're giving him way too much freedom, and it's true. We need to confine him more.
Yeah.
But whereas before he could go in his little pen and he was just happy, now he's like, let me out, and he barks and stuff. We also need to neuter him. These balls have got to go. We need to get that taken care of.
Yeah. Just marry him.
Listen, I'm having surgery on January 3rd, and I've already told you how to handle it if I die. So you could be free of all of this.
Yeah, but I've got this masochistic thing where I need someone to browbeat me constantly.
So you'll choose like another person like me next time.
Yeah, it's too much work.
To choose another person?
Yeah.
To get to have to plan a wedding again?
Just all of it.
Before you torpedoed the show with your negativity, I was going to say something positive so we can leave them on a positive note.
Oh, great. That's good.
I had a moment today, sitting on the couch. Owen was to my left. Elliot was at the dining room table. Your mom was in the kitchen, where she belongs. And I was watching The Holiday. And
the movie, The Holiday.
The Holiday, yeah, the movie. And 2 dogs were on the couch with me, and Wendy was leaning on me, and I was like, I really feel full and contented, and I have it all.
That's
weird.
A great feeling.
You weren't in the room, which is strange.
No, that's how it should be. Me asleep.
Yeah. But I was like, I just had, those moments where you kind of you just drop into yourself and you're really in the moment. And like the feeling of Wendy on my warm Wendy body on my leg, Owen to my left, the whole family here. We have a house, or rather we have a roof over our head. I have a family. I have pet. I don't know. I just was like,
it's good to appreciate what you have.
Remember this feeling. Yeah, I was so happy.
You never know when it's going to be taken away from you or go
January
away.
3rd.
Appreciate it while you have it. Absolutely.
January 3rd. I'm just kidding. No one worry about me. I'll be fine. I'm going to sell my uterus on Patreon.
Ooh.
Patreon.com/AlisonRosen.
Patreon.
And my tubes and my ovaries. My doctor, so I had to sign some papers, like that I'm receiving informed consent. And my doctor, I could tell that he felt like it was stupid that he had to tell me this, but he's like, so no more uterus. You won't be able to have any more kids.
Yeah.
And I felt like it's funny that he had to tell me that. Like,
yes, doctor, I know.
I'm
how
aware. Yeah. But maybe there are people out there who don't get it. And that's sad.
I guarantee that's the
like
case.
So much better to have it said.
Yeah.
Because, okay, here's a quick story about my hair guy. Maybe
Quick,
I was being...
because I got to go potty. So
maybe I was being
make it
passive
fast.
aggressive. So I decided to color my hair myself. I used a demi-permanent to cover my grays. Texted him and I said, I'm thinking of doing my cover, doing the demi-permanent myself. Do you see any problem with that? And he said, as long as you're able to cover it evenly, I don't see any problem with that. I did not really cover it evenly because when I was putting it on, I'm like, if there's grays on the underside of the back of my head, I don't really care,
Right.
So I'm just going to focus on what's visible. So I go to see him and he said, did you get it on evenly? And I'm like, not totally. And he's like, oh, that's not good. And as it turns out, which I should have realized, there's a misunderstanding between us. When you go to straighten it, hair that has been dyed processes faster than virgin hair. So when he was saying, if you get it on evenly, you're fine, he meant in terms of the straightening.
Right.
He thought that's why I was asking him. I can understand why he thought that, but that wasn't why I was asking him. I was just saying, because he also does my color usually, I was just saying, like, in general, do you think I'm okay doing this? Do I have your permission to do this? So I felt like even though he probably thought it was understood, I wish he had made it explicit.
Right.
In the same way, I'm glad that I now know that without a uterus, I will not be able to have any more children, even though I'm way past the age.
Sometimes you just need to hear it said out loud.
Exactly.
It's not the fact that you're pushing 50.
Yeah. I said to him, in that case, no. And I put N. I just crossed. I said void.
Right. Or is there an option where I can have it removed and still have kids?
Right.
Science. You don't know. Maybe they can put the uterus inside a machine so the baby goes into the uterus inside that incubating machine, kind of like Brave New World or something.
That's what IVF is, really.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's not, but someone's going to shit their pants.
No, I just got to pee.
Someone's going to pee their pants.
I'm going to leak, as Owen would say.
What do you need to say?
Well, just Merry Christmas, everybody. Sorry if this is a downer. I hope it wasn't. Was this a downer?
I don't know. Part of me thinks people are going to be like, it was really great to hear you guys hash out your stuff and be real. And then the other part of me thinks that people are going to be like,
I didn't need that right before Christmas.
You're an exhausting cheapskate, and I can't stand you.
Well, I don't mind if they think that about you.
Yeah, about me.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
All right. I'm going to let you go. I would like to remind everyone.
Are you going to keep talking to them? This is always my fear if I walk out of here.
Yeah. Well, then stay. Because all I want to say is you guys are the light of my life. I feel so fortunate to have the best listeners. Tell a friend, leave a review, specifically leave a review on Spotify, please. And I hope you have a good one. Keep in touch. Subscribe on Patreon.
Tell a friend, and just try to
subscribe on Substack.
Substack.
I have new merch.
Appreciate what you have this Christmas.
And appreciate what you have this Christmas. Thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Bye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show?